Hey, so quick video here about supplements and when to turn in your notice of completion. So, previous to my career in construction, I was an accountant and have a degree in accounting. And so, in the financial world, which insurance is definitely a part of, there's a term called materially whatever, material complete, materially done, materially affecting, whatever. And what that means is that it's mostly done to a negligent amount that's not done. In construction, basically, what that means is that all the work is done. There might still be a punch list, but the rest of it's done. Might be something minor left, like all the work is done, but we haven't done the window screens yet. In other words, it's pretty much done. And most likely, it'll be done by the time you get around to processing it if I send you my notice of completion. Okay? So, with that being said, anytime a job is materially complete, that's when you turn in the notice of completion. It's going to take a couple of days for Edith to process that, and then it's going to take a couple of days for the insurance company to get around to that, even when they're not backed up. Currently, it's actually taking them a few weeks. So, this is January of 2024. 2023 was a historically busy year for insurance companies and the trades and all that. So everybody's backed up. So we want to get everything done as soon as possible so that we can get on the next person's list. So, in other words, turn in your notice of completion even if one of the minor trades isn't quite done yet. So we want to make sure that roof is done, windows are done. Honestly, anything else? Any interior work is done. Anything else like paint, gutters, window screens, garage doors, because those are done in such a short amount of time and they don't have much lead time. And overall, they're a minor part of the value of the job. Those don't need to be complete for you to turn in your notice of completion as long as they're scheduled and going to be complete within the next couple weeks. Because basically, you turn in your notice of completion to Edith, and then by the time the insurance company gets around to processing it, it will be complete. That's fine. Even if there's a punch list left, it'll be complete except for the punch list. That's fine too. So in other words, if we've replaced the roof, but some of the shingles didn't seal all the way and some of them blew off in a windstorm and we still need to go back and do a minor repair to that, that's fine. It's complete. Turn in your notice of completion. So that's the notice of completion. Now, as far as the supplements go, what we want to make sure is that the trade itself is approved before we start the work. So if they're approving to replace the roof, we don't need to have them approve every single line item for the roof. If they're approving to replace 4 windows, we don't need them to approve every line item for the windows. If they're approving to replace gutters, we don't need every single linear foot approved for the gutters. Like say they missed one of the sides or they missed one of the downspouts, that's fine. We can supplement that post-production. Now, if they approved 4 windows, but 5 actually need to be replaced, before we replace that 5th window, they do need to approve that one. But they don't need every single line item. For example, I've got a roof list here of all the line items that should be on a roof, okay? So there's remove the roof, which includes the labor for removing 1 layer of felt, 1 layer of shingles, all the vents and all the flashings per Xactimate. So we don't need to supplement for removing vents, removing drip edge, removing, step flashing, whatever else. It's already included per Xactimate. We do need, though, to install shingles, and we need to add on an amount for waste. We do need to install ridge, starter, felt. If the pitch requires it, we need to make the amount of felt, double whatever the square footage is. Install drip edge, install gutter apron, install ice and water shield. And I list those two separately, even though a lot of insurance companies try to just do drip edge, because they are two different things, they are two different price points, they are two different items in Xactimate. But install attic vents, HVAC vents, fan vents, which are the Broan vents, plumbing boots, head wall flashing, step flashing. If any of those in that column were painted previously, then we need to paint those too. And this is just for a basic roof, so I don't have any valleys in there, or hips would be included in the ridge. I don't have steep or high charges. This is just a basic roof. But we all know that insurance is not going to include all of these items in their original estimate. But as long as they approved to replace the roof, we can go ahead and move forward even if we don't have all these items in there. Same for windows. Okay, they might have R&R window, this many square feet. And then that's all we really need to move forward. Sure, it'd be nice to pre-supplement those. We don't need to pre-supplement those before we order the materials, but we need to get moving on that before they get installed, because we know that it takes several weeks for the windows to come in, and we can work on it during that time. Again, as I was saying, if they approve to replace 3 downspouts but 4 were actually damaged, we can go ahead and replace all 4 downspouts. Just take pictures of that 4th one and send it in with our post-production supplements. Paint for additional sides, you probably want to get that approved before you actually paint those additional sides. But otherwise, we don't need to pre-supplement every single thing before we get the work done. And we don't need to have every single thing, including the punch list, done before we send in a notice of completion. So, we've got time limits, and even after we get the work done, there's processing time in the office, there's a processing time at the insurance, desk adjuster. There's a lot of things that are moving parts, so we want to make sure that we get as much done and turned into the next person as quickly as possible. All right, thanks everybody.